Today is Tuesday, December 10th. We'll tell you about the person now arrested for assassinating UnitedHealthcare CEO, how he went from prep school valedictorian to murder suspect. Also, the outcome of a complicated case against a veteran who's been described as either a hero or a killer. Plus, a recent decision in a succession battle could impact one of the largest media empires, which TV shows and movies dominate the Golden Globe nominations, and how hippo sweat could be the next big thing in sunscreen. Those stories and even more news coming up. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. An all-out manhunt for the gunman who killed UnitedHealthcare CEO has finally come to an end. Last night, a 26-year-old man was charged with murder. When he was arrested, he had a 3D printed gun and silencer thought to be used in the murder, a fake ID, $10,000 in cash, and a handwritten 3-page document that apparently describes his motivation. The NYPD summed it up as some ill will toward corporate America. The suspect's background came as a surprise to many of the people who have been speculating about the case. He comes from a prominent Baltimore family that owns 2 country clubs, was valedictorian of an elite prep school, and then got his bachelor's and master's degree at the University of Pennsylvania. And he has no known criminal record. Of course, that has changed as of last night. He was finally caught yesterday about 230 miles from the hotel where the shooting happened at a Pennsylvania McDonald's where another customer recognized him. The investigation is far from over, though. Detectives say they're now looking to see if the suspect had any help, though at this point they believe he acted alone. Another controversial murder case out of New York City came to an end this week. A jury acquitted a Marine veteran who was charged with killing a Michael Jackson impersonator. You may remember this is a case that's brought up a lot of debate over the past year on issues of race, crime, self-defense, homelessness, and mental health. It all started when witnesses say Subway performer Jordan Neely was yelling at strangers and threatening them, saying he wanted to die. So the former Marine, Daniel Penny, says he felt obligated to step in, and he put Neely in a minutes-long chokehold. Penny says he never wanted Neely to die, just that he needed to be restrained. But Neely did end up dying at the hospital, and a medical examiner confirmed it was from compression of the neck. Prosecutors called Penny's actions excessive and reckless, especially considering how Neely was not armed and did not actually hurt anyone. On the other side, though, the defense team argued that Penny was justified when passengers believed their lives were in danger. In the end, Penny was found not guilty. While he was seen celebrating, some protests broke out. Public officials from all around the country have also been weighing in. Some say the whole case demonstrates a need for more resources for law enforcement. Others say this shows a need to address systemic issues related to race, since Neely was Black and Penny is white, as well as poor funding for mental health care and a lack of social services for the homeless. Neely's family is among those calling for changes. His father also filed a civil lawsuit against Penny this week and is seeking damages. It's been nearly 5 years since Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's corruption trial first began, and today he's finally set to testify. Netanyahu is accused of making under-the-table deals with media moguls in search of lavish gifts and good press coverage, though Netanyahu says he did nothing wrong and that the whole case is political. Now he'll have to defend himself on the stand, and it's expected to take weeks. Though the prime minister is not taking a break from his full-time job, where he's managing the war in Gaza, the ceasefire with Lebanese militia group Hezbollah, and threats from the wider Middle East like Iran. Critics have actually accused Netanyahu of dragging out Israel's conflicts in an effort to delay his trial, another accusation he says is not true. A verdict in the case isn't expected until at least 2026, and even then, either side could still appeal. Stay tuned. The rebels who took down the Syrian government have started taking control. The new rulers have promised all faiths will be respected and that there will be no retribution against low-level workers and soldiers who served the last government. The Western nations have said they're still closely monitoring the events to make sure the rebels stick to their word. Already, rebels have taken up positions outside public buildings. They're also asking Syrians to stop looting even from the last dictator's abandoned palaces. Syrians who fled their country's civil war clogged the roads from Turkey and Lebanon to return home through what are now unguarded border crossings. Others could soon be forced to return home, since there's now debate over the world's largest pool of refugees. Meanwhile, many Syrians who never left are celebrating in the streets. Much of the world is drying out. A new report from the United Nations found 3/4 of Earth's land has gotten drier in the past 30 years, and that change is likely to be permanent. The report says if these trends continue, nearly 5 billion people will be affected by the drying by the end of the century. And that includes people across most of Europe, parts of the western U.S., and beyond. As you might have guessed, the UN is blaming climate change, and it says some crops and livestock are now at risk. So it recommends countries become more efficient by growing crops that need less water, finding new irrigation methods, and so on. Talks about this problem are actually underway right now in Saudi Arabia. Nations are talking about how to better deal with droughts, as well as the more permanent problem of degrading land. Already, some have committed money toward better forecasting and monitoring systems, as well as reservoirs and other structures that can offer water during dry spells. The talks wrap up on Friday. We have more news for you still coming up, but first, a quick break for our sponsor. Need a deodorant that can actually keep up with you this holiday season? Lumi deodorant is your answer. Whether it's just my everyday errands and time with my kiddo or a special holiday event, I appreciate knowing that I'm going to smell great and feel confident thanks to Lumi. Lumi Whole Body Deodorant is powered by mandelic acid to deliver impressive 72-hour odor control. I'm especially a fan of Lumi's stick deodorant for the morning, and the deodorant wipes are perfect for travel or anytime you're on the go. You can throw them in a bag and be on your way. It's the perfect transition from the gym to work or from work to an evening holiday party or happy hour. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers, too. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, which I use every day, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, like I mentioned, and free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. And if you combine the 15% off with already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. So use the code Newsworthy for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code Newsworthy at LUMEDEODORANT.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Okay, now back to the news. Gas prices are now the lowest they've been in more than 3 years. A Gas Buddy analysis found the national average price for a gallon of gas hit $2.98 yesterday. Other gas price estimates still peg the national average above $3 a gallon, but either way, gas is the cheapest it's been since 2021. And it's a big turnaround from the high point from 2022, when the average price of a gallon rose about $5 because of inflation and the war in Ukraine. Now, Gas Buddy says prices could drop by another 10 to 15 cents before Christmas. The U.S. government banned 2 common chemicals yesterday, including one widely used in dry cleaning. The 2 chemicals, called TCE and PERC, have been found to cause cancer and other diseases, and they've been found in drinking water nationwide. The Environmental Protection Agency's new rules completely ban TCE, which is used in things like spot removers, glue, and lubricants. PERC is used for dry cleaning and car care, and it's now banned for all consumer uses, though it's still allowed in certain industries like defense. Where PERC is still allowed, companies have to make sure workers are well protected. Groups representing both the chemical production industry and dry cleaners have criticized the double ban. They say it will have wide-ranging negative effects on the economy and will put a burden on thousands of dry cleaners. And the future of the ban is uncertain, since the incoming administration could change the rules when President-elect Donald Trump takes office. 2 advertising giants behind some of the most iconic campaigns in history are combining forces to create the biggest ad company in the world. Omnicom announced it was acquiring Interpublic for $13 billion in an all-stock deal. Together, the 2 companies are responsible for some of the most memorable advertising slogans, like MasterCard's Priceless and the Got Milk campaign. The new company will have a combined annual revenue of more than $20 billion based on last year's numbers. Ad industry experts say the deal may help Omnicom take on tech heavyweights like Google and Meta, who have used their massive platforms and data access to change the landscape of online advertising. The deal is expected to close later next year. A business mogul seems to have lost a legal battle to control the future of the world's most powerful conservative media empire that he started. We're talking about Rupert Murdoch, the man behind brands like Fox News and The Wall Street Journal. Murdoch has been wanting the control of his company's assets to go to his oldest son, Lachlan, who shares his conservative political leanings. But to do so, he would have to get the family trust changed. Well, this week, the New York Times got a hold of a ruling that says, no, he cannot do that. In fact, it says Rupert and Lachlan Murdoch acted in bad faith by even trying to do so. So as things stand, when Rupert dies, his businesses will be divided equally between all of his sons and daughters. The thing is, besides Lachlan, the other 3 Murdochs are considered more liberal. The patriarch says that could be bad for business, especially if the siblings cannot come to an agreement about the direction of his company. By the way, if this all sounds like an episode of HBO's Succession, there's a good reason for that. The Murdoch family reportedly inspired the show, and it apparently inspired Murdoch's children to start talking about how to avoid a TV drama-worthy outcome in their own family. Now, a spokesperson for 3 of the Murdochs says they hope to move beyond this litigation to focus on rebuilding relationships with their family members, whereas Rupert Murdoch's lawyers say they plan to appeal. Golden Globe nominations are out. Amelia Perez, the musical about a transgender cartel leader, is leading the way with 10 total nods. Amelia Perez also set a record for a comedy or musical. No other movie in that category has ever scored 10 nominations. The Brutalist, which hasn't been released yet, got the second highest number of nods with 7. On the TV side, FX's restaurant drama The Bear led all shows with 5 nominations. FX's Shogun and Apple TV's Slow Horses were close behind with 4 each. The Globes are the first major award season of the year and can give a good glimpse into which movies might score Oscar nominations. The award ceremony is on January 5th on CBS and Paramount+. That's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Trivia Tuesday, when we ask a different trivia question every week. But first, a quick break. As busy parents, I'm guessing you do not want to have one more thing you have to keep track of, but you do want your kids to have everything they need to thrive, which is why I love Hiya's best-selling children's vitamins. They come straight to your door each month, so you don't have to think twice about it. But even more than that, I chose Hiya because they have 0 sugar and 0 gummy junk and are instead a pediatrician-approved chewable vitamin that my little boy seriously looks forward to having every morning. I also love that you get this great convenient bottle with your first order, and then they just send you eco-friendly refills every month, so it's easy and convenient. You even get stickers that your kids can decorate the bottle with. My kiddo enjoyed putting his name on it. He actually got to do the vitamins bottle and the probiotics bottle since we are big fans of both, and he takes both each morning. So we've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/newsworthy. The deal is not available on their regular website, so go to hiyahealth.com/newsworthy and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. Okay, now back to Trivia Tuesday. And today's trivia question is, the inventor of what toy was originally trying to create a new treatment for broken bones? As for last week's trivia question, what kind of animal has red sweat? The answer is the hippo. The giant African mammals have what's referred to as blood sweat, though it isn't actually blood or sweat. It's a special substance that's part sunscreen, part moisturizer, and part antibacterial. Its structure and color help it scatter and absorb dangerous ultraviolet light. And its acids make it antibacterial, helping prevent cuts from getting infected, for example. Scientists hope one day they can use hippo's red sweat to create a similar multi-purpose product for humans. Well, thank you so much for joining us to get caught up on the news today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest to know. Until then, have a great day.